Hi, my name is Carla from Masters College. I'm going to be showing you how to do a TOEFL exercise. Specifically, we're going to be looking at sentence restatement, which is one of the question types that you're going to see in the reading section. So as you can see, the way this works, you're going to have a sentence that's in bold, and your job is going to be to pick which of these four options is closest in meaning to the original sentence over here. So the first thing that we need to do is to break down the sentence, understand it, make sure that we know what it's saying, and then we'll start comparing. Now, when you take the test, by the time you get to this question, you will have already skimmed the entire passage and know what it's generally talking about and have some context. In this case, you're looking at it for the first time, so I would ask that you skim the paragraph quickly, and then we'll focus on the sentence. So I'm just going to let you pause the video for a few seconds so that you can skim, and then we're going to focus on the sentence itself. Okay? All right, so we're going to break down what's in bold. As you know, the paragraph is talking about invasion, and the sentence is focusing on some details about what happens with invasive species. So it says, in the invasive species native environments, there are typically predators, parasites, and competitors that keep their numbers down. But in their new environment, natural checks are left behind, giving the invaders an advantage over native species. So in the first part of the sentence, what they're saying is that these invasive species, where they originally come from, where they are native to, in those places, they usually have to deal with predators, parasites, and competitors. And those three things keep their numbers down. So that's the first half of the idea. The second half, which is a contrast, says that in their new environment, natural checks, which in this context is referring to the predators, parasites, and competitors, so threats or dangers, those natural checks are left behind, giving the invaders an advantage over the native species. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the options and see which one is closest in meaning without leaving anything out, without changing information, without presenting anything inaccurately, etc. So this first option says invasive species are organisms that leave their native environments behind and move to a new environment. So this is true and it's mentioned, but it is an incomplete restatement of the sentence because it only has part of the information. Nothing about the advantage, nothing about the natural checks being left behind. In the new place, how that leads to an advantage. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate this first one because it's true, but it's incomplete. The second one says native species are at a disadvantage compared to invasive species. So that's true. It's kind of just saying the end of the original sentence backwards. Because they face environmental dangers that invasive species have left behind. So this one is pretty much saying the same thing. It's changed the order a little bit. It's taken out some of the detail, but the main idea is the same. So this is probably our answer, but we'll just go through the other ones to double check. The greatest danger from invasive species is that they may spread parasites among native species. So this one was not mentioned. Also, it's a little bit counterintuitive because if they've left the parasites behind, then I'm not sure how they would be able to spread them. So this one we're going to eliminate. And then the last one says, in a new environment, predators, parasites, and competitors prevent invasive species from spreading as fast as native species. So this one is pretty much the opposite of what the original sentence says, because instead of it preventing them, they're no longer dealing with these things, which gives them an advantage. So the first option is true, but it's missing information. The third option is not mentioned and is inaccurate according to the information that we do have. And the last option is pretty much the opposite of what the original sentence says. So B, in this case, would be our best option. And that's how you would deal with sentence restatement. So that's it. Thank you. Bye.